I welcome you to the Messiah channel. I normally pray for all the members of the channel so that the Lord will give you wisdom and understanding of the end time messages that we deliver on this channel. Our message for today is related to the prophecy against Edom. The prophecy against the Edomites. And we are providing the biblical references for the prophecy against Edom, Isaiah 21 verses 11 to 12, Ezekiel chapter 25 verses 12 to 14, Jeremiah chapter 49 verses 7 to 22, the prophet Amos chapter 1 verses 11 to 12, and finally the book of Obadiah chapter 1. Who are the Edomites? The Edomites are descendants of Esau. Esau was a brother of Jacob, and Edom or Edomites is related to Esau and his descendants. What's the prophecy? God will make Edom desolate. God will destroy Edom. And what is even amazing is that there's no prophecy of future restoration for Edom and Edomites. You remember that the children of Jacob were punished. They were sent into captivity and they were scattered over the world. But prophecies are numerous relating to the future restoration of the children of Jacob. But there's no prophecy about the future restoration of Edom and Edomites. And why will God punish Edom and Edomites? Let's look at Jeremiah chapter 49 verse 8. Esau is cursed because of his godlessness and also because of her iniquities, and the punishment that is given to Esau, the punishment meted against Esau, goes in perpetuity to the descendants of Esau. If you look at the prophet Ezekiel, Edom will be desolate. Mount-Seir, I will make you desolate. Mount-Seir is the capital of Edom, and Ezekiel chapter 35 verse 3 prophesies that Mount-Seir will be desolate. I will lay waste thy cities. Ezekiel chapter 35 verse 4 decrees that the cities of Edom, the cities of Esau will be laid waste. And why will God do that? Because of perpetual hatred of the children of Israel at the time of their calamity. The prophet Ezekiel, in Ezekiel chapter 35 verse 5, is saying that the Lord will destroy Edom and the Edomites because of the perpetual hatred that the Edomites had for the children of Jacob at the time of the calamity of the children of Jacob. Hast thou this rejoice at Israel, because it was desolate? I will do unto thee, thou shalt be desolate. The prophet Ezekiel, in Ezekiel chapter 35 verse 15, is saying that Edom rejoiced when the children of Jacob were punished. And in the same way that Edom rejoiced at the calamity of the children of Jacob, thou shalt be desolate. Edom shall be desolate. And if you read the prophet Jeremiah chapter 49, verses 16 to 17. Edom was punished or will be punished because of pride. Edom was located in a secured place, and that gave them the reason to be proud. And they said, who will bring me down? So Edom would be destroyed because of her pride. And if you go to the prophet Amos, Amos chapter 1, verses 1 to 11, the prophet prophesies the destruction, the desolation, and the judgment against the Edomites. And there are 4 sins outlined by the prophet Amos, and from there we can cite few examples. The Edomites pursued their brothers with the sword. Edom will be destroyed because the Edomites pursued their brothers, the children of Jacob, with the sword, and they kept their wrath forever. Edom and the Edomites hated the children of Jacob, and they kept their wrath forever. They kept their hatred for the children of Jacob forever. And for that reason, the Lord is going to make them desolate. So let's look at the prophecy against Edom as outlined in Obadiah. And the book of Obadiah is one of the detailed documents regarding the prophecy against Edom, the destruction of Edom. If you read verse 10 going, verse 10 of chapter 1 of Obadiah, in verse 10, the Lord is going to destroy Edom because of the violence committed by Edom against Jacob when, at the time that the children of Jacob needed to pass through the lands of Edom, but the Edomites refused them. When Moses was bringing the children of Jacob from captivity in Egypt, they needed to pass through the lands controlled by Edom, but Edom refused. If you want to do reference about it, read Numbers chapter 20, verses 14 to 20. Numbers 20, 14 to 20. And the violence that the Edomites committed against the children of Jacob continued from the time of Moses to the time of the prophets, including the prophet Jeremiah. If you read verses 11 to 14 of Obadiah, there are charges leveled against Edom, and the charges are amplified in Obadiah chapter 1 verses 11 to 14. You remember AD 70, the time when Jerusalem was destroyed by Roman soldiers, and the children of Jacob were scattered as a result of the destruction, the desolation of Jerusalem. The prophet Obadiah lists the crimes, lists the sins committed by Edom against the children of Jacob, for which the Lord is going to destroy Edom and the Edomites. Number one, charge number one, the Edomites stood withholding assistance when the children of Jacob were in calamity, when they were attacked, when they were desolated. The Edomites stood aloof without giving them any assistance. Charge number two, the Edomites rejoiced over Judah's downfall. When Judah fell, when Judah was desolated, Edom and the Edomites rejoice over that calamity. Charge number 3. The Edomites plundered the city of Jerusalem. When the city of Jerusalem fell and the children of Jacob were scattered, the Edomites were part of the people that plundered the city of Jerusalem. Charge number 4. The Edomites prevented the escape of the fugitives from the children. The fugitives are among the children of Jacob. And when the children of Jacob were fleeing Jerusalem, the Edomites, the Edomites, the descendant of Esau, they prevented the escape of the children of Judah. And for this reason, the Lord is going to destroy the Edomites. So Edom and the Edomites, descendants of Esau, they will be destroyed. And the prophecies about their destruction, as I said, are outlined in the book of Ezekiel, the book of Jeremiah, the book of Isaiah, the book of Amos, and most prominently, the book of Obadiah. The destruction of Edom and the Edomites will be complete. It will be final in the last days, and there's no prophecy about restoration. The Edomites and Edom are doomed forever. They will be punished. The oracles about their desolation and destruction are contained in the prophetic books of Ezekiel, Isaiah. This is a question that you all can help us to answer. Who are the Edomites? If you know who the Edomites are, you know that the future is not good for them. They are divinely decreed to suffer desolation, and that desolation will cover them and their descendants. Perpetual desolation, and they are doomed. The prophecy of Obadiah, when is it going to be fulfilled? Repent, repent. We are in the last days as we wait the fulfillment of many prophecies of the Bible, including the prophesied desolation and destruction of Edom and Edomites, the descendants of Esau, for their atrocities, vindictiveness, and wickedness against the children of Jacob, who are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Who are the Edomites? Their destruction is pending, is imminent, and there's no reversal, and there's no prophecy about the future restoration of Edom. They are doomed. Edom is doomed. Thank you for this message.